Welcome to the table. You are now listening to the Real Table podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table podcast with your host, Michael Carter. And it's been a while. There's been a lot of time in between episodes, but we're back. Things are in full swing. We're in July and things are heating up. Movies are out. People are heading to the theaters, which is good. So I'm just so glad to be back and just doing this episodes again. When life happens, won't be able to get to episodes weekly like I usually used to do. So whenever I can, whenever I get a chance, we're gonna do those episodes. But we're in the busiest, most exciting time of the year right now. We've got a bunch of movies that are flocking, that are out. Movies that are hitting, some are remakes, and we got new franchises coming underway. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today at the table. But I can't talk about it alone. I got to get my boy back on here. He actually messaged me himself, and he was like, we got a pod. I was like, oh, I'm way ahead of you. I know we got a pod. He's seen a lot more content than I am, so this is going to be really interesting to gather his thoughts and perspectives that could maybe benefit you. Isaiah, welcome back to the Real Table, bro. How you doing?
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, bro? Welcome back to the table. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling really, really exhausted because I know it's been a lot. Like, of course, I did some moving since our last podcast. I think our last podcast was Mission Impossible Fallout, I want to say.
It might have been, yeah.
It might have been Fallout. So there's been a lot going on, catching up on a lot of movies myself, of course, with some things that are going on at home. But I am excited and I am ready to talk about some of these projects because we're in the summer. We in the thick of it. We in the heat of it, and a lot of big content is dropping all around the world, and it's summertime. You know, it's summertime.
Yes, sir. I like that. It's summertime. I like that. You're right. It is summertime, bro. So yeah, we got a lot to discuss. You've seen a whole bunch of films lately. Let's start at the forefront because we haven't gotten a chance to talk about this. I got the chance to talk about this with Alyssa, who was on the podcast episodes ago. We got a chance to talk about this, but I haven't got a chance to ask you your thoughts on Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. I know you've seen it. It's July now. It came out in May. How is that movie? What was your initial reaction on the film, and how is it sitting with you right now?
My initial reaction. So I went to go to a fan event with the IMAX screening that was near me. I had to travel a bit into the state in order to do so, but it was worth it. And of course, I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but Mission Impossible Final Reckoning was my most anticipated movie of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
There are other things I'm excited for, like the new Knives Out film, Catherine Bigelow's new Netflix movie, or even Avatar Fire and Ash.
Yep.
But Final Reckoning was number one, starting off with the new year.
Yep.
And I'm pleased to report that it was a very emotionally satisfying conclusion to this franchise. Now, yes, I think quite a few of the criticisms is warranted, 100%. I do think that there is an over-reliance on flashbacks where it's funny because you think of the whole show don't tell. I think they showed it a little bit too much. That was one of the things where I'm like, okay, let's draw it back a little bit. Let's draw it back. Trust the audience. We're good here.
Yep.
I do also believe that the first half, while not bad, I think the first half has some issues as far as pacing and really trying to like grow and flesh out this final stakes of it all with Ethan Hunt's like apparently his last mission.
Yeah.
But the movie does a great job at establishing stakes. This is the most intense and I wouldn't wouldn't necessarily say horrifying, but you do feel like that this is the end. It's the last in the final mission with the whole nuclear threat of Armageddon. Not the best nuclear plot I've seen in the franchise. I think Fallout does a better job with it.
Yeah.
But here, it raises the stakes much higher. The score is amazing. I was a little bit concerned about Lauren Valve not coming back for the score, but I think it works amazingly here. There are sacrifices. There are great MVP standouts. Terrell Tillman, holy God, he is on a roll. This guy, I'm telling you right now, like I would watch just a short of him and Ethan just in like this Crimson Tide like battle of naval warfare. I would watch like a whole 30-minute short of it. I'm down. And of course, the third act. Everybody's talking about that third act, how powerful it is, Tom Cruise's dedication. You really do feel like that this is Ethan Hunt's last stand, and the stakes of it all feel so grand. That biplane sequence, I'm telling you, that might be his greatest stunt of his career. We were talking so much, especially on Ghost Protocol. He hasn't topped anything with the Burj Khalifa. I ain't gonna hold you. The biplane sequence, it gives the Burj Khalifa sequence a run for his money.
Yep.
That aspect ratio, drawing out, whoo, some of the best, man. And it's somewhere. If I had to rank it, because I rewatched the movie again with my mom and my sister, just to make sure, like, okay, am I tripping? Was I just a part of like the hype? Because I was at a fan event. We were clapping, we were cheering, the audience was heavily involved. A lot was going on.
Yeah.
So I rewatched it again. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I told you that only 4 movies in my life actually managed to get me to cry. I was tearing up at the end of this movie. I genuinely was. Because of a certain character who, I don't want to say any spoilers, but there's a certain character that involves an audio message at the end. And that got me.
Yeah.
It got me. It got my theater. We were all emotionally engaged with the story, or at least the majority of us.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. It's not like... It's not going to be like one of the greatest movies of the year, like how you would see something like a Sinners.
Sure.
Like, I wouldn't put it on that level.
Yeah.
But as far as entertainment, theatrical, spectacle filmmaking, it will be one of the more memorable experiences I've seen this year. Like, McQuarrie and Tom Cruise, you can critique of the way how they construct these films in terms of they write the scripts as they go along and they focus more on the set pieces and forming the screenplay around the set pieces.
Yeah.
But this movie is a breath of fresh air compared to other spectacle filmmaking that we'll be talking about later on in this podcast, even within the last 5 years. Like, it's even if you're not a big fan of the story, the filmmaking, the craftsmanship, the technical work, the dedication of stunt work, like, and even Tom Cruise finally getting his honorary Oscar, as it was announced with him and Debbie Allen and others creatives. Like, it feels overdue, but at the same time, there's something about Cruise getting an honorary Oscar that feels much more worthy than him just winning a competitive acting award for supporting actor, like for Magnolia. Because as fantastic as he is in Magnolia, the honorary Oscar, you're not just honoring the acting, you're honoring the producing, you're honoring the stuntman, you're honoring just the visual, visionary outlook of pushing the boundaries of what a man or a woman in terms of that stunt ensemble can do for just great entertaining spectacle and thrills. I was very satisfied. It's probably ranked 3 or 4 in the franchise. I would probably rank it number 3 or 4. Like, it's not the best. It's not Fallout. It's not Rogue Nation.
Right.
But I was satisfied.
Okay. All right. Dope. You were satisfied, and I agree on that honorary Oscar. I think it's gonna be pretty dope to watch, see Tom get that, and I hope they They better televise that or record it.
Oh God! Normally they don't.
Because I know his speech is going to be good. So hopefully somebody has a phone. It could be a phone recording. It could be something. Hopefully somebody kind of.
Most of the time there is a recording. Like Jack. Remember when Chris Tucker presented Jackie Chan with his honorary Oscar? Or Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Like there's some genuine, or like even when you saw Rashida Jones accept her father's honorary Oscar.
Yes.
Of course, Quincy Jones. The problem is it's just not televised. So you got to wait until you watch it on either someone's phone or online on YouTube. I hope it is televised because it's not just Tom Cruise, Debbie Allen, Dolly Parton, like production designer who's worked with people like Spike Lee all the way back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, going into the 1980s. Like it's going to be a great crop of lists, and it's probably the best crop of like honorary Oscar recipients I've seen in a very, very long time. So I'm excited.
Okay. Nice. Well, can't wait for that. We're gonna be waiting for that one for sure. Let's keep this train moving. You saw Lilo and Stitch. Give me your brief thoughts on that. How does it compare to the original? Should you compare it to the original? Like, how was that movie for you?
Well, this is going to be pretty quick, and I say this with all due respect, because I did a double feature. I did Mission Impossible Stitch Reckoning. I did that double feature.
Oh, okay.
But the fan event was before Lilo and Stitch. The fan event was early in the day.
Okay.
I probably should have just waited to see Mission Impossible after Lilo and Stitch, because Lilo and Stitch is not a good movie. It's just not. Now, is it like atrocious? No. Is it the worst movie of the year? No. It's not even the worst live action remake of the year.
Right.
So I can say that with confidence.
Okay.
But the movie is just beat for beat, play for play of the original. And it does it in such a weaker way. Now, Lilo and Stitch was never like one of my favorite Disney animated movies growing up. But as time went on, I realized that it is a special movie. A special film from Chris Sanders.
Yeah.
The movie does have things going for it. Like, the girl who plays Lilo is adorable.
That's what I hear.
I think she can go far as an actress. Like, I can see her working with an auteur. Like, I remember when the little girl, why am I blanking on her name, from the Florida Project? I think it's Julia Butters, I believe. Okay. When she was in the Florida Project and people were like, oh, I can see her working with like some auteurs or someone. And she ended up working with Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I can see that same thing for this little girl, where I can see her working with someone like a Spielberg or someone like on an auteur level that can give her a role that like kind of offers a bit more maturity. Because here with Lilo and Stitch, there are moments in the movie where I'm like, dude, you literally have to act. It's an acting debut.
Yeah.
Of a 6-year-old girl, 7-year-old girl. She's a little older now, but during production, she was younger. You have to literally act off of a CGI nothing, a puppet. Stitch is not real. Yeah. And for you to do that and have a convincing performance, I thought that was fabulous. I also think that some of the online backlash against the Nani character was a little unwarranted. Sure, if you want to make a case that Nani was miscast, I think the actress did a fine enough job for what she was given to do and required to do. But even then, the whole decision that Nani makes at the end, that a lot of people are talking about, I thought that was an understandable decision from Nani, to where, yeah, Lilo is a little girl, and Nani was never her responsibility to be Lilo's parent. Yes, she's a good guardian. She's doing a good job. And I even like the social worker who originally played Nani in the original. They didn't make her out to be a jerk. They just made her to be realistic. Like, Nani, you are doing a great job, but we got to think of what's best for Lilo. Like, she was it was like a very like, okay, we gotta be real with reality, but at the same time, I'm not here to like sabotage a relationship. I'm just trying to do the best for both of you.
Yeah.
And Nani makes a decision at the end, which even if the movie's not good, I'm gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna spoil it. The movie's almost close to making $1 billion. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
But that decision that was made, I was just like, you know what? I like it and I respect it. It doesn't make the movie great, but I respect it. For me, it's a 5 out of 10. Lilo and Pleakley and Jumba are just like, what are we doing here? Look, I love me some Billy Madison.
Sure.
And there are moments where he is funny in this role, but even his physical comedy can only go but so far with just the plainness of this movie. It's a movie that exists. And that's all I have to say about Lilo and Stitch.
Like, what are your like thoughts on that idea? That not the idea, it's happening. Like they're gonna make a sequel because
I'm not surprised.
It's doing bank. What are your like? How do you feel about that? And apparently, the sequel too is going to do. I think has nothing to do with. I think they made a direct to DVD or direct to video sequel.
Yeah, if they do something like a Stitch has a glitch,
I don't think they will. I
don't think they will. There's a lot going on with Stitch has a glitch that I liked. Just thematically, that is a bit dark. That I think could be very good for live action.
Yeah,
and even if you bring back Chris Sanders, I think Chris Sanders needs to come back in the director's chair because your boy from Marcel the Cell with Sozon, I think he did a wonderful job with that film. It was a very beloved movie in 2020. I believe it was 2022. Yes, because it went up against Pinocchio. Yeah, in 2022. But there's just something that has just been so off with these indie filmmakers that are gone on to do these Disney studio for hire projects where their voices are barely heard. There's something about it that just feels so muddled. The movie is rushed. The editing is some of the worst I've seen from this year so far. I need Chris Sanders to be back because there's another live action film where, sure, it's not a great movie, but they brought the director back. And so when we get to that movie, I think you know what I'm talking about. That was something that I actually appreciated more than something like a Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, wait, I just realized. Yeah, we're going to come back to this. I just looked up the writing credits and I just realized something. And if Disney is smart, which, I mean, they can do whatever they want because it's going to make $1 billion. But if they're smart, they're going to tap this person for the directing chair.
Who's that?
Dean Allen DeBlois. He has a writing credit. I didn't realize he's written on I think it looks like he's written on the 2025 version, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks like he's done some writing in the old stuff too. So it's like, I think that's interesting.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time that collaborative directors would go on to make Disney live action remakes in the same year, I only have 2 nickels, which is not much, but it's crazy that it happened twice. And I'm referring to Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois because they both worked on How to Train Your Dragon.
Dude,
and
it's crazy.
They're now a part of 2 live action remakes. Now, Chris Sanders didn't direct Lilo and Stitch, but he came back for the Stitch. And I will also give Lilo and Stitch that. Chris Sanders owns that role. Like, he is Stitch. Yeah. And Stitch is hysterical. He's lovely. He's funny. He's gross out. But, like, Stitch is adorable. We like Stitch. We stand for Stitch. Not stand for Stitch, but we appreciate Stitch.
We appreciate it. No, for sure. No, for sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Eventually I'll catch it. I'm not in a rush, not in a hurry.
You can honestly wait until it just comes to Disney Plus. I'm telling you right now.
That feels like that's gonna be the right move for me. But it'll be interesting to see what they're gonna do about that story, direction, all that stuff in the near future. Again, that movie I think it's the second. Is it the second highest grossing film of the year so far? It might
I
be.
think it is the highest grossing film of the year so far. It outgrossed Minecraft.
Okay. All right. Yep, it's the
Minecraft,
highest.
I thought was going to make $1 billion. This movie, if I'm not mistaken, just earlier today, it passed 970 million worldwide. It is projected to make $1 billion anytime now.
That's insane.
Now it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Yep. It's just a matter of time. How to Train Your Dragon. Another live action adaptation. Thoughts?
I was not looking forward to this movie. I remember when I saw the teaser with my homeboy who was one of my old track and field buddies. He was just like, man, Hollywood makes nothing original. And I'm just like, it's not true, but at the same time, I get what you mean.
Yep.
And I was just not looking forward to this movie. How to Train Your Dragon was one of my favorite movies growing up. I remember like renting this movie as soon as it came on DVD because I wasn't able to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
As soon as it came on DVD, on like my personal, like we had like a family like DVD personal like travel player.
Yes.
And I would watch it over and over, and I fell in love with it. And I enjoyed the trilogy as a whole. I cannot believe I'm saying this.
Uh-oh.
How the heck does DreamWorks beat Disney at their own game?
Woo!
I don't understand. Like, you guys, this is the first live action remake we've seen from DreamWorks, and they literally beat Disney at their own game. This is the best animated live action remake I've seen since Jungle Book.
Ooh, bro.
I'm not playing. Aladdin was fun. I had fun with Aladdin. I had fun with the cast. It was a very well cast film. But man, like I don't even count Cruella. Nah. Would you count? Nah. I love Emma Stone in the role. Like she's great in the role, and the costume design is obviously fantastic. Jenny Beavens is like a queen. But this is the best one, and it's not a great movie.
Sure.
But it's literally beat for beat of the original.
Yeah.
And the original is such a well written screenplay.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to mess it up. Now, some people can say or act, and I'm not trying to put words into other people's mouths, but like, now that I think about it, I even ask myself, well, Isaiah, how can you say that about Lilo and Stitch if it literally does it shot for shot, beat for beat? Well, for starters, How to Train Your Dragon actually feels like they built Burke. Versus Lilo and Stitch, there's so much of that movie that feels so like you just shot this in a studio and rushed production. Like Dean DeBlois, you actually brought back the original director. So that tells me that, like, okay, he didn't want to do this movie, but it's inevitable. They were going to do this movie with or without him. So
I think actually that's what he said. I think that's what he said too. He was like, "They're going to do it anyway, so I might as well."
He might as well. And you could feel the passion of this story because it's the same thing. Like I actually felt like Burke was recreated. It was built. Like I remember watching the CinemaCon sneak preview, and they showed us never before seen behind the scenes footage. Like the art direction of how they built Burke looks authentic. It looks like a real movie. The casting, like first of all, thank you for getting Gerard Butler back as Homeboy because I'm like,
sure,
another actor could have portrayed Stoic, and that would not have been really great. Even the kid who plays Hiccup, I think he did a good job. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think he lives up to Jay Baruchel's performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing him as an actor and what he's going to do next. He brings so much likability, so much charm. He's not like the nerdy, like nasally type of like performance that Baruchel's giving, but it lives up to it. Even we were talking similarly about Thandie Newton.
Yes.
And I'm gonna need people to stop crapping on Nepo babies because most Nepo babies are actually very talented. Nico Parker as Astrid, people make such a crazy big deal of her because she has like of her hair and the fact that she's
Yeah.
black and a person of color. She's not white. Vikings aren't black. I think she does a good job living up to Astrid with America Ferrera, what she brought to the character. And you feel the relationship. Of course, you got that banging Academy Award nominated score coming back.
Yeah.
And the flight sequences, man, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Some of these flight sequences were better than something like A Brave New World, which is wild. Like, the flight sequences are so airily dynamic in a way that feels like you're flying too. It doesn't just feel like, oh, this is just a bunch of like green screen CGI. Like, no.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Brave New World. I like the flight sequences here, but there was something about this movie. Like, there were areas that I would even say, I'm not saying it's on the level of Top Gun, but I haven't felt myself gripping like, oh my God, like the wrong move, you can literally fall to your death.
Yeah.
Since something like a Top Gun. This is some of the best aerial like flight sequences I've seen in films recently. Now, yes, the biggest issue of the film, it's simply, why does it exist?
Yeah.
If it's just doing the same thing as the original.
Yep.
That's the only real critique you can give this movie. I mean, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Nick Frost as Gobbler. I do miss that Scottish accent, but you know what? I got used to him. And I like the casting of some of the other side characters too. I thought they were really good. But the real criticism is, why does this exist other than being a cash grab? Now, thank God, Dean DeBlois, talented, amazing, gifted animated director who made a successful transition to live action, had the heart and passion, but it just doesn't feel like it justifies its existence.
Yep.
But luckily, it's well made. Luckily, it's solid. But you can look at the original and be like, most of what the original does is better than what is done here.
Yeah. Now, as we look at, eventually number 2 is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they need to evolve? Like, we get it. The first one was beat by beat, but the way that they did it, it felt right. It made sense. It didn't deviate too much away from the source material, making it, bad per se. With number 2, I would like to see, again, I haven't even seen the first one yet, but I'll see when I see it. But like with the number 2, do you think they should take more risks, right? You've got people believe in it. They showed up. It's the highest grossing film in the franchise. It was announced today as the highest grossing film in the franchise, including all the animated movies. So do you think they should take some kind of risk with number 2?
I think they should. Why not? I don't think people fully understand how confident they were in this movie. They literally dropped this movie at CinemaCon.
Yep.
And then when the movie came out in its opening, before the final budgeting projection, like worldwide numbers were completed, there were projections, but before it was official, they announced the sequel.
Crazy.
On opening weekend. They were confident in this movie. They were confident in the story, and they were confident in the direction that it would take that people would be intrigued of.
Yep.
And I'm down to come back. There are aspects about this remake that I did like more than the original. Like, for starters, of course, you've seen the original movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's no spoiler. The scene when Hiccup loses his leg.
Yes.
That scene really did hit. I would even say harder than the animated.
Wow.
Because, like, I really felt like, dang, man, like, this was like a consequence. And, like, you lost something that is now going to be different.
Mm.
And I also really appreciated Thames and Parker's chemistry as Astrid and Hiccup, and I'm willing to see them grow together and just as these characters and see how their relationship evolves. Because in the original one, I'm not going to say that the chemistry was forced.
Yeah.
Jay Baruchel and America Ferrera are very talented actors, and they get the job done. But something about the original just felt a bit like, oh, we just got to figure out how we're going to get these two together. Versus here, there was something more naturalistic about their relationship being formed that I did appreciate.
Okay.
That's no disrespect on the original animated, but I did like that. And of course, people are losing their minds over the idea, like, oh my god, should they bring Kate Blanchett back as the mother? And Gerard Butler's down for it. Me personally, I'm like, take it or leave it.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't need her to come back. But Kate Blanchett, from a voice acting perspective, she brought a lot to Hiccup's mom. And Hiccup's mom coming back and not being dead in the second film was such a great turning point in the franchise that I did respect and honor. I really hope that if they're going to do this second film, it does get a little bit darker and it does have like a big reckoning, because How to Train Your Dragon 2 deals with a lot of consequences on the idea of dragons and humans interacting.
Yeah.
And just that coexistence. So much to the point where we lose a main character.
Yeah.
And I really do not want them to pull their punches. Like, no, be honest about it and be real with it. Like, go for it. This movie's coming.
Yep.
So our opinions don't matter.
Yeah.
The question is, are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
If not, okay. But this movie's coming one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hear that. Yep. 2027. So there's a little ways away, but it'll be interesting to see what
it'll be here before we know it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, bro. It'll be here before we know it. Elio, bro. Elio flops, which is not a surprise. You saw it, right?
Yes, I did see Elio.
By that reaction, I take it you didn't. You didn't care for it.
Dog, Elio is going to go down as, along with Thunderbolts, one of the best movies I've seen this year that absolutely flops at the box office.
Oh.
Like, this is a good, it's a good movie.
Hot take. Okay, bring it.
Now, hold up. This is not Renaissance Pixar. This ain't WALL-E.
Sure.
This ain't Ratatouille. And to a certain extent, it ain't Up. This ain't like top tier, one of the best Pixar films ever.
Yep.
It's average Pixar.
Okay.
But it's good.
Okay.
It tells a wonderful story about a kid just trying to find a sense of belonging after having tragedy strike at him. I love how the movie opens. The movie does such a magnificent job at depicting space. Not just the exploration of space, but the awe and wonder of space that can affect not only children, but adults too. There's a lot going on in this movie that I've never seen Pixar do before. Like, for starters, Elio's a military kid, which I've never seen Pixar do before. Like, your main character is a military kid. I used to go to a school where it was right near a military base, just about 10, 15 minutes away from a military base. So I saw a lot of military kids. I had a lot of kids come in and out of my life for being in the military. And it's very fascinating to see this kid who, I don't know if this is what their intentions was, but he kind of feels like a autism spectrum allegory. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I really dug it. I felt for him. I wanted him to succeed in his goals. I thought some of the comedy was very solid. Like, how did you make a better Lightyear movie than Lightyear? Don't ask me that.
Dang.
It's the best Pixar movie I've seen to depict space exploration, which is wild because some people are like, even better than Wall-E. Wall-E's
Yeah.
a better movie. It's a better screenplay,
Yeah.
but I think Wall-E focuses more on like the AI narrative versus Elio. This is a straight up space exploration film,
Yeah.
which is interesting because his aunt, I'm thinking that that's his mother. That's not his mother. That's his aunt, played by Zoe Saldana. She is a high-ranking, respected representative of the United States Air Force. And even with her journey, like, of course, this very frustration of now you have to be the guardian of Elio. And there's a certain character journey that she goes through where she kind of forgets and loses that inspiration of space and aerodynamics of how we explore the airspace and both within our atmosphere and outside of our atmosphere. And the movie basically proposes the question, will she ever regain that spark of fascination, or does she just find it as a job?
Yeah.
That I really loved. It is one of my favorite Pixar parent-child relationships. I just fell in love with both of them so hard. I understood their dichotomy and this struggle of Elio questioning, like, what does he have left on Earth? And this urge, this fascination of just wanting to escape, but it's the questioning of, does she really care about him, or is he just a liability that she is morally obligated to take care of? It has a lot of it runs into the same issues that you would see in Pixar films. It's a very fastly paced film. It is formulaic. You pretty much know a lot of the story beats and how they're going to pan out. Yes, they are emotional. The third act is emotional, but you pretty much, I'm not going to say you've seen this film before, but you know structurally from an outline perspective, if you ever listen to Andrew Stanton, Pete Docter, or even Brad Bird talk about their experiences when it comes to Pixar, you pretty much know how this movie is going to pan out. It's still much better than what people are giving it credit for. I think it is a sweet movie and probably our first big official animated feature contender for the Oscars.
Okay.
Too bad it's flopping.
Yeah. What's Pixar's trajectory now? I think Pixar is in trouble, man. Obviously.
Oh no, Pixar's not in trouble. Their original films are in trouble. No, their original films are in trouble. Inside Out showed us last year that Pixar's not in trouble. Their original films are in trouble.
Right. In terms of original content, it feels like they're in a rut to get anything going and to make anything work for audiences. Like what happens now? Is it just rinse repeat, keep trying?
And they got Hoppers next year, which
sounds interesting.
They put out a teaser trailer to Hopper, like a little 30 to 50-second teaser to Hopper towards the end of Elio.
Okay.
And I gotta say, man, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good movie because Elio's marketing, I don't think the marketing did any justice for Elio. So on one hand, you can say, yeah, that explains it. But on the other hand, audiences have shown us that they care more about Pixar sequels than they do actually their original projects. I mean, yes, Elio wasn't the best marketed, but what about when you look at other projects? Like, I'll give Soul a pass. I'll give Luca a pass because that was during the pandemic. 2020 was lockdown. 2021, the industry was trying to recover. You had a whole year to recover. By the time you get to 2022, I'm sorry, pandemic excuses. This might sound a little harsh. I really don't take pandemic excuses by the time you get into 2022.
Sure.
I really don't. Like, you could have released Turning Red. You could have
Yeah.
waited. You could have
Yeah.
waited, and you could have released it. You could have released other projects. But instead, you put out Lightyear. What's the difference between Turning Red and Lightyear? One is pre-existing IP. The other one's an original picture. Doctor talked about how we're going to focus more on certain projects that appeals to audiences of wide ranges.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would say that after Inside Out literally crushed the box office last year. And what does that mean? That means more remakes, or it means more sequels, or movies that will apply to mass audiences. So, I mean, yeah, we are getting hoppers. We are getting, I believe, another original film, but on the horizon, we got Incredibles 3. We got Ratatouille 2. Yeah. What's next? WALL-E 2?
Toy Story 5.
Now, okay, I will give Toy Story 5. Toy Story is a special. That's actually special. You want to know why? Because all Toy Story films, even the fourth movie, were pretty good.
Yeah.
And good. I ain't going to hold you, man. This Toy Story 5 concept is pretty amazing. And you bring back Andrew Stanton, the director for WALL-E and Finding Nemo. That's the one sequel I'm actually looking forward to. I mean, Bonnie literally having this tug of war between this AI lily pad like tablet versus the toys. Like, I mean, okay, there's a story there because that's actually happening here in real life.
Yep.
Like the war of children just going back to naturally playing versus playing on their tablets. Like, okay, there's something that could be done there. Yep. And I even heard that Jesse's character was going to be more of a main character here. I was like, okay. But yeah, the original films are cooked. They're done. Yeah. I would be genuinely surprised if Hopper ends up like Elemental, where it didn't necessarily become a hit, but it had enough legs to not be a flop.
Right. Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens on that front. Big weekend. July is here. We're getting it going. Jurassic World Rebirth kicks us off. I've been very anti-Jurassic World, mostly because I'm like the Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom and Dominion put a bad taste of that world in my mouth, and I'm like, I don't know if there's anything left for this franchise. Now you do Jurassic World Rebirth, you get Gareth Edwards, who I'm fond of Gareth Edwards. I like the way he films. All his movies aren't amazing, but he does good technical work on his films. So I'm like, this could be a good push for the new franchise, and also good for Gareth Edwards. Reactions come out, they're subpar, and it makes me go, I had a good feeling about this. But because people love Jurassic World and they love dinosaurs, movie is a hit and is tracking to make over 300 million worldwide.
Good Christ.
Which means it could be one of the top selling movies of the year, which is going to get interesting. I didn't predict it. I thought the movie was cooked. I'm going to be completely honest. I thought Jurassic World was cooked because I wasn't sure if people were really going to be down for another one. Yes, Dominion, people showed up. It was a hit, even though the movie critically wasn't that great. But I was like, does the world really want this movie? Does the world care? Can it have the legs? Will it carry? Is ScarJo, is she I won't say a star, but like, does she have star power? And most of those factors seem to be correct. You saw it, Isaiah. You saw it. I'm still staying back, and I'm going to hold my guard because I feel like most of the reception that I've seen it feels mixed. There are people that like it. There are people that are like it's great, and then there's people on the other side of the fence that are like it's not good. They have no more. They don't have anything for Gareth Edwards anymore. Like, there's all that stuff. It's very mixed, give and take. what did you think about Jurassic World Rebirth?
Well, before I talk about Jurassic World Rebirth, we got to establish the elephant in the room, and I'm gonna make this quick.
Uh-oh.
That Nolan trailer was awesome. That
Oh,
Nolan trailer, the
I
Odyssey,
completely
man.
forgot about an Odyssey trailer. Yeah, how was that
And
trailer
you,
kicked off?
is it? It's not like I'm not gonna go crazy. It's not the greatest Nolan teaser because, like, getting a
Yeah,
Nolan teaser is like finding Waldo. It doesn't come often, but when it comes, it hits. It hits
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I think the Dunkirk Nolan teaser, the one before the Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
was probably my favorite one. But this one is pretty good. But I can't talk much about it because it's only like 30 to 50 seconds long, and there's not much going on. All I can
Yep.
say is Tom Holland and John Bernthal, they're the stars of the teaser. I'm not going to tell you how, but they get the most screen
Mm,
time because this cast is big. You got Zendaya, you
yeah,
got Matt Damon, you got other players. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Charlize Theron, I think was recently cast in the
I think
role.
she is.
I
Yeah,
think. Um, Obviously, the movie looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous,
yeah.
but Bernthal and Tom Holland. Bernthal is one of my favorite actors in the industry right now, and Tom Holland needs this movie. Like he
Mhm.
needs this because of
Yeah,
all the crap that he's been getting with.
yep.
Other than Spider-Man, what are you great at? Like you haven't done something like The Impossible. Like what are you doing? Like I think this is good for his career. It's like Chris Evans for The Materialist, which was also a great movie. This is good for you.
Yep.
But while aesthetically, from a cinematography perspective, it looks like a Nolan film, what is being captured doesn't look like a Nolan film. If
Interesting.
that makes sense, like the warmth, the color grading, it looks like Nolan. Yeah, like you know Nolan shot photography when you see it, but what
Yeah.
he's capturing, the locations, what?
Hmm.
That's all I could say. I can't go more into it. You need to go into this. Do not, please stay away. I stayed away from it because the trailer was leaked. They revealed it.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of Christ, do not do any research. Do
Yeah.
not go into this teaser blind.
Yep.
All you need to
Yeah.
know is John Bernthal and Tom Holland. That's it.
Yeah, I saw that somebody leaked it, and I was like, I want to see it on the screen, man. I'm like, I'm not
And see it on
interested.
the biggest screen that you can.
Yep. I'm not interested in watching somebody's cell phone of this trailer.
No,
Yeah, not for me.
no,
Not for me.
no. We don't do that.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll see it soon. But yeah, give me your thoughts on Jurassic World.
The Jurassic World, well, really the Jurassic franchise, in my opinion, has just been mid at best post Jurassic Park, which is a masterpiece of blockbuster filmmaking.
Yeah.
Um, I remember watching Jurassic World with my grandmother, and while I had fun with it back in 2015, I was going my way to high school that year. That was my freshman year, and it was fun, but kind of disposable. Like I have
Mm,
to 10 years later, I have not rewatched that film from start to finish.
yeah.
I've seen clips and like pieces of it, but like from start to finish, I do not remember it. I mean, not remember it, but like I haven't seen it from start to finish. Fallen Kingdom, you get Boyega to come back. J A Bayona. Why did I say Boyega? J A Bayona, of course, really impressive director. Talk about the impossible with Tom Holland. He, I think, was doing the best he could with a very interesting concept because I like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's concept with the idea of animal rights and like the moral idea of do we have the right to extinguish these dinosaurs once again, even though it is our responsibility and our accountability that we recreated them again.
Yeah.
And while being a mediocre movie that was so all over the place and solid and just straight up corny and just eye rolling at times, I loved Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's ending because it actually introduces great consequences and it just
Yes.
lays out the foundation of Dominion. And even a short film that came out a year later, I believe it's called Battle Rock, starring Andre Holland. Of course, he's
Okay.
most familiar from his work in Moonlight and
Yeah.
from his Netflix work. That did a great job, a great short film, better than any of the other Jurassic World movies. A great short film that establishes the consequences of humans and dinos living amongst each other in coexistence, as if
Yep.
they're like bears or deers. It's wild. But Dominion, you you literally had the foundation that was presented to you on a silver platter.
Yep.
How did you mess it up? This is not a good. It's one of the worst studio blockbusters I've seen in recent years. One of the worst movies I've seen that was financially successful. The only thing that doesn't make it worse than something like a Minecraft is because it has a great performance from DeWanda Wise. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
God bless her soul. She deserves better.
Yep.
And so we get to Jurassic World Rebirth, and when I heard about this movie's release, my eyes rolled in the most cynical, just disturbingly arrogant way. Like, I was over it from the start.
Jeez.
Then we get the casting of Gareth Edwards. Ooh. Okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Ali, Johansson, Bailey. Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Starts to stack up.
Okay, we're starting to stack up. John Matheson, DP of Phantom of the Opera and Gladiator. Ooh, okay. You have my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Keep talking. Alexander Desplat as a composer. All right, you know what? God dang it, I'm in. I'm in. All of these names, all of this talent, and then by the time they announced that it was going to be shot on celluloid film, I damn near levitated. I almost levitated.
Yeah.
The build up to this movie just looks amazing. The trailers look great. Like the marketing, I think was really good. I knew that this movie, regardless of how good or bad it was going to be, it was going to make money. It was the one movie this summer that I knew was guaranteed going to be a hit above anything else, above Fantastic Four, above Superman, above
Yeah.
Megan, above any of these other pictures, because people like it when the dinos go roar. Kids like
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I used to work at Target. Holy God, the Jurassic Park section with Dominion was insane. So what did I think about the movie? Gareth Edwards did the impossible. He made a good, entertaining Jurassic World movie.
Okay.
Now, is this a great movie? No. Do I think, ironically, the screenwriter Kep's work, who was the original writer, his script literally keeps this movie from being what it really should be. And kind of stinks. Kind of stinks. Because David Koepp, he has put out some of the most entertaining and greatest scripts for blockbuster cinemas of his time. Like, this guy wrote Jurassic Park, which I think should have been nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. This guy wrote Mission Impossible. This guy has been a part of some solid features.
Yep.
But he's also put out Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He put out Dial of Destiny. He put out The Mummy. And I know some people, I wouldn't call it a bad script, but I wasn't really that big on War of the Worlds, especially with its third act. I think what makes that movie endearing is more so Spielberg's directing rather than the actual writing on paper. And here, some of the dialogue is painful, bro. Some of the character work feels flat in the first half. Like, people will get on Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard for their performances. I'm like, dog, you could have literally cast Lupita Nyong'o, Bradley Cooper as those characters, Academy Award level talent, and they can only do but so much to bring out from these really uninteresting characters.
Yep.
Here, however, the movie is predictable. It is so predictable. Like, you know what is going to be the opening of the film. Just watch the trailer, and you can guess what's going to be the opening. You know who's going to be the antagonist. You know which characters are going to die. There's only one character who I thought was going to die, and I was convinced of it. I'm not going to spoil it. But it turns out they actually didn't. Like, oh, wow. Oh, they actually... Okay, that was not something I predicted. Okay. And that first act was a little rough to get through. But when the movie gets going, it gets going. The action set pieces are very well directed, very thrilling. You actually feel the peril and fear for these people. This movie's not necessarily scary, but like the first Jurassic Park, you actually get a sense that there is a nightmarish terror that these guys are going through, that these kids are going through, that these scientists and mercenaries are going through in order to achieve their goal. You get a sense of these dinosaurs not just being like, oh, let's make them bigger. Like, no, there is a dinosaur in this movie that you've seen in the marketing that looks like a freaking xenomorph. And it's intimidating. And it doesn't just attack. Like, it has a strategy. It's like they literally made a psychopathic serial killer of a dinosaur. We're like, we're not just going to make this dinosaur attack. We're not just going to make this dinosaur a Terminator like how we did in Jurassic World. We're going to make this dinosaur like, it's going to be calculated, and it's just going to straight up it's going to make you understand that you are absolutely screwed. There is nothing you can do about it. You're cooked, and I want you to know that you're going to die by my hands. Like, it is genuinely terrifying. Not in like a jump scare way, but the idea of how to just like very like laboratory experiment of a dinosaur that is so deformed and so like just the embarrassment scum of the earth, just taking its anger out on everything.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. The movie looks beautiful. Like, holy God. Like, please, Blockbuster cinema, take notes. This actually looks good. The shadows, the warmth, the color grading, the atmospheric tone, that film grain. There's a nostalgic tone that this movie brings that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And even the performances, it took a little time, but Jonathan Bailey is a star. I love this guy.
Is he a star in the making?
He is a star, man. Not even in the making, bro. Like, homie, he got the juice. He got the juice. He got the juice. And I say this as a straight man. Like, he got that beautiful, like, just like cool appeal. And I love, part of me is just like really expecting to believe that this sex symbol of a man is going to be able to play off a nerdy outcast, maybe virgin paleontologist. God dang it, he did a good job. he did a good job at it. Scarlett Johansson, I was there for her muscles. And of course, I love her as an actress. I think she's a very talented actress.
Oh, yeah.
Her character, not the best direction in the beginning, but when she starts kicking and beating the crap out of dinosaurs, oh yeah. I'm digging it. And Mahershala Ali, who I think has a very endearing character, who not necessarily is like the most like three-dimensional, but he's the most interesting character, along with Jonathan Bailey's character, that I've seen probably since the original film, where he does have like this internal and external like flaw and conflict that he has going on. And I think he had a pretty solid arc. It's been big, heavy debates online whether his arc works or not. I think it did. because of just the idea that, unlike other franchises, Jurassic World is not like other franchises where they have balls, they got stakes.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, even the bad movies, like, or even the more disappointing films, like, they got balls and stakes. So I can at least appreciate that. I just don't see why are we making, like, if we're going to make another Jurassic World film, like, this was a fun, visually entertaining experience. And it is better than the other sequels, but that's not saying much. It's still a good movie, but like, there is something about this where I'm like, where do we go from here? Like why? Like, like, where are we going? It's the same story. It's the same story. You basically get people trying to play God, and you have other people trying to warn them and trying to show them that, yes, science is beautiful, but we should not cross or evade. And you got the other characters who are in the middle, who kind of go back and forth. Their morality is questionable, but they end up choosing the light. The rich, like, white person who wants to only be interested in the money ends up getting shredded. You'll know that character when you see them. I'm not going to reveal who it is. Like, but it's the same thing. David Kep literally plagiarized himself. And it sucks because the actors and everybody, I think, is giving it their all. Like, Scarlett Johansson, there is some weak material that she has in the first act where I'm like, why does her performance look bad? Because of the material that she's given. And then all of a sudden, by the time you get into the third act, she is giving this emotionally engaging, like, performance that reminds you, yeah, I am an Oscar-nominated actress. Like, I actually do have chops. And the last thing I'll say, just to tip it off, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. There's a little girl here named Isabella. I believe her real name is pronounced Audrina Miranda. She's adorable.
Yeah.
Protect this actress at all times. And I swear to God, if I hear anybody try to do anything to manipulate her career, there will be hell to pay.
Dang. You think is she that good?
She's just cute, and she has a lot of charisma and charm, and similar to the Lilo and Stitch actress. It's like, every time I see a young child actor, elementary level, I always think to myself, like, protect this child at all costs, because child acting is so beautiful, but it's been manipulated to hell literally since the days of Judy Garland, and I just don't want kids to go through that. But their talent should be allowed to be expressed to the world. So, yeah, I think she is adorable in this movie, and she has some really emotional stuff to work with, and that I appreciate it. But please continue.
No, it makes me, I think, everything you just said, it sounds interesting, and I don't doubt that it's, like, entertaining, but it is one of those things where I'm like, it feels like I just need to wait and not rush. Like, it's a discount day at the movie type deal or it's a matinee type thing where I'm like, I'm not paying full price. Because again, personally for me, even though I like Gareth Edwards, even though I agree, I think it looks really good from the trailers that I saw. It looks really good. I'm just not impressed with the franchise, and I'm kind of just like, ugh, And now,
please don't watch it at home. Like, don't watch it on Peacock. If you're going to watch this movie,
I'll go watch it in
theaters for sure. Theaters, because it's bad enough that this movie didn't get an IMAX release, because I feel like it could have benefited from that.
Theater movie for sure.
IMAX release, like, I would have rather this get an IMAX release than something like a Superman. Because like, I don't need to see Superman in IMAX versus this. This is something I would have liked to have seen in IMAX. And,
again, what are your thoughts on that though? Which I'm surprised that it's still. I mean, I'm not that surprised that it's doing hot, but I'm also like, there's no premium screens like for this movie, which is surprising.
It's wild, and I knew from the start it didn't matter who was going to direct this movie. I knew that this movie was going to make more on its I feel like it is going to make more on its opening weekend than Superman will. Now, I think Superman may have I think Superman may have better legs because
Sure.
people are starting to realize this movie's not getting well reviewed. But
Yeah.
like this movie, over 300 worldwide, bro. Are you
Yeah.
freaking kidding me? Like,
No.
yes. I knew
It's
this was
crazy.
coming. Now, did I know it was going to make over 300 million worldwide? No, but I knew it was
No.
going to be a hit. I
Hit,
knew it was
yeah.
the guaranteed hit of the summer because people like it when the dinos go roar. People like it when the dinos eat the booties like groceries. They like that. They just do. They just do. They like it with they like white meat. They like that rich entrepreneur white meat. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bro,
they just
you're funny,
that's just
dude.
that's just how it is. Like it sell toys. It's marketing. It's a familiar
Yep.
franchise. Like think of all of the like elementary to middle school boys who are
Oh yeah.
fascinated with this. I was fascinated with dinosaurs when I was a
Yep.
kid. Like yeah, I even asked my
Oh yeah.
grandmother. No, I asked my aunt to get me a dragon and a dinosaur after I watched Jurassic Park when I was 6 years old with my great grandmother on VHS. We didn't even see it in theaters. That was on VHS. So
Bro,
yeah,
you're
like none
funny.
of this. No, thank you. None of this surprises me at the
Now,
slightest. And but
now,
I don't want to crap on. I'm seeing this feud between
yeah,
not Snyder, gun fans and Jurassic World, and like people like crapping on like, bro, let's play it like Tom Cruise. We want all movies to succeed.
to
Like
succeed.
let's not try to burn one down just to up the other because of
Yeah,
Superman coming out. Like no, let's
for
celebrate
sure.
both. But please continue.
Now, do you think now again week 2? You think the movie's going to continue to trend upward? Because my initial thought from the jump was that it wouldn't do as hot as people expected. Um, but it's doing way above projections.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I'm like, okay, what's next? Does the movie go strong this week? We know Superman comes out this weekend. Does it? Does Jurassic World still go strong this week? The
I
embargo
think
for
it all
Superman.
depends.
Yeah, but I said the
I think it
embargo for
all.
Superman lifts tomorrow. So tomorrow we're gonna get
Oh yes, it
first
does. It
reactions. Yeah,
does.
tomorrow we get first reaction for Superman. Which for me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, Jurassic World has this amount of time to make the money and to hit. Because if Superman is really good, my thought is that Jurassic World will kind of tank a little bit. Now,
Jurassic World also benefited from a 4th of July
yes,
extended opening weekend. Like
huge,
it did really,
huge.
the movie technically released
Yes.
on Monday
Yep.
because there were select theaters. There was even a midnight screening that was near me. Technically,
Yep.
it released on Monday, but it was worldwide on that Wednesday
Yep.
and July 2nd. And I think with the B minus cinema score and with the reviews just being straight up divisive, I think it's going to not. I don't know if I would use the word tank, but I think it's going to lower down with Superman coming out because Superman is also a very familiar project in James Gunn. This has been a
Sure.
very highly anticipated movie. I would say even I'm more excited for Superman than I am for Rebirth.
Sure.
If you gave me 2 world premiere red carpet tickets, one of them is Superman, the other one is Rebirth, I would go watch Superman. That
Yeah.
being said,
For sure.
I don't know if Superman's going to be monstrous on its opening
Yeah.
weekend. I think it will have
I don't
better
know either.
legs, but
Yeah.
like Jurassic, I knew that Rebirth opening weekend was going to be incredible.
Sure. Yep.
So it's kind of
Now,
hard to tell. I'm not a box office
yeah.
expert. If you want me to refer to you people, well, not you people, but if you want me to refer people that listen to you to someone who is an expert when it comes to box office readings, I highly recommend go over to the channel of someone like Dan Murrell, who is formerly known for his work on Screen Junkies. He's an Emmy-nominated
Okay.
creative. He now has his own channel. He is the best American I've ever seen to
Really?
actually do very well when it comes to box office projections. I don't see anybody who has done box office projections as far as like film punditry or criticism
Yes.
better than him.
Do you follow Luis Fernandez or Fernando?
Luis is good. Luis is good.
He's
good
good.
too.
But you're saying Dan is better.
not objectively. I'm saying that Dan has more experience than I've seen from other people because he's actually has not only his own channel, but he's an industry professional. Correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to Louise. Louise is a critic pundit, correct?
Okay. I think you might be right.
Dan Murrell. Dan Murrell with the Screen Junkies days, he had much more of like exposure. I mean, the guy literally got like a bunch of Emmy nominations for honest trailers, I believe it was called.
Trailers.
Yeah. And so I'm not dissing Louise. That's not what I'm saying. I'm willing to give Louise props. I'm just saying that Dan Murrell, he's someone who, even for people who aren't even on Twitter that much, when Louise is really good on Twitter, especially when it comes to his tweets, Louise is someone who I never heard him get that acknowledgement, even for people who are outside of Twitter.
Sure.
Like, you're not even on Twitter that much, but you still keep up with like YouTube and stuff like that,
right?
Or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But again, that's just my opinion. But like, I give Louise his props. I respect and love him very much.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind for sure. I might even have to follow him. Definitely. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it does in the second week. I don't think it's going to tank at this point. I don't think it's going to tank. I think it's going to keep, because you're going to get people that are going to go see it. But I think a lot of it does depend on tomorrow night. Or not tomorrow night, but just tomorrow, whenever that embargo's up. I think a lot of what happens with Jurassic World rests on the Superman reactions. Because if Superman is mixed, then I think Jurassic World is gonna stay steady. It's gonna do just fine. Superman's gonna make his money, and it'll be fine. But I think if there's like an overwhelming response to Superman, which, to be honest, I can't even tell because everybody's being hushed lip on any reactions to the movie because, again, they can't talk about it. So a lot of what tomorrow brings is going to be interesting for Jurassic World, but still within itself, it's making 300 plus million worldwide. Dinosaurs win. You know what I'm saying? Dinosaurs are king. So it'll be interesting to see what the second week entails for that film.
The dinos go roar. They love it.
Dinos go roar, man. People love it. All right, let's get into it. F1.
Some people look at Sonny Hayes. They see a guy who lives in a van, a gambling junkie who missed his shot, the best that never was. But I see possibility.
And if you don't love me now, we'll never.
My Rook is a phenomenal talent, but he's young. You plus him, boom, I got a team.
When was the last time you won a race?
Sunday, Daytona.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Formula One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then same as you.
There's this new guy. He's old. He's such a prick. He's quick though.
If you had any constructive criticism for each other, what would it be?
Don't be such an ass dickhead. That was constructive.
Wow.
Did you win something? There's 20 other drivers still out on that track. Do you think any of them respect us?
They're saying Sonny Hayes isn't a has-been. He's a never was.
The last thing I do is drive that car. I will take that life, man. 1,000 times.
I'm offering you an open seat in Formula One. The only place you could say, if you win, you are the absolute best in the world.
Never break the chain.
Did you see it in IMAX?
No, I did not.
Oh,
It stinks that I didn't.
bro.
IMAX travel is far from me. It's a
Okay.
it's a drive. It's a drive. Like that's you got to invest yourself.
Dang.
Like I don't see myself watching another IMAX movie guaranteed until like
Yeah.
Fire and Ash. Like I'm going to try to make an effort for Superman, but like I'm just trying to think of
Yes.
like okay, what's
Sure.
going on in IMAX?
Yep. No, I hear that. I'm lucky because I live within 30 minutes of a few IMAXs in the city, which is kind of
That's beautiful.
rare, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, bro, I saw that in IMAX in like full frame, top to bottom screen. Every ounce of it, every scene was just full. It was loaded. It didn't have to move. It didn't have to convert. It just stayed full frame the whole movie, and it was, man. F1 is exhilarating, bro. It is exhilarating. Cinema, complete cinema, top to bottom.
Mhm.
I don't think like when I'm thinking about it and I compare it to the likes of like a Top Gun Maverick, just because it's the same director. I don't think it's better than Top Gun Maverick, but that's okay. I still thought it was a good story. It did what it needed to do. It wasn't anything super impressive. It was impressive on the technical landscape. The story wasn't anything impressive. It didn't reinvent the wheel, but it was a good story. I enjoyed some of the characters involved in it. The music, the score, Hans Zimmer cooked on that side of the fence. So like there was just a lot to grab and a lot to just love about F1. What was your initial reaction walking out of your showing?
I am on the same level with you, man. I loved F1. I'm not even a big Formula racing guy. Not really. I mean, if you
Yeah, same.
invite me, I'll go.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a big F1 guy. And this is one of those sports movies, man, that get you invested into something that you didn't even think that you would have interest in. That's just the ultimate power of filmmaking. Joseph Kosinski, director who I've literally been following since I was a kid, during the days of Tron Legacy to Oblivion to now Maverick and F1. I think that this was a W for him as a director. He showed the world that Maverick was not just a collaborative effort for him, because many people did question how much of his direction was actually his vision versus was this really just a collaborative effort between talented screenwriters like McQuarrie and Aaron Kruger, who's credited here, or even someone like a Peter Craig, who's famous for his work on The Town, Batman, the Batman, Matt Reeves, Bad Boys for Life, and even something like Top Gun Maverick, or even Tom Cruise and his producing skills, as well as being the main star and having a lot of creative credits, along with McQuarrie being a producer as well. Like, how much of that was actually a collaborative effort?
Right.
I think Kosinski proves that he is indeed his own director, and he has his own standing of not having to be behind anybody in order to make a good movie. This is his vision. This is his work. It is fabulous. Aaron Kruger, it may not be saying much. He gets a lot of flack as a screenwriter, because if I were to tell you some of his writing credits, you might roll your eyes as well. Some of them involve Transformers movies, and Top Gun Maverick was a big win for him. He had a writing credit on that movie, got him an Oscar nomination for adapted screenplay. And here, I think it is safe to say for me, this is his best script. The script still, I think, is flawed, but it is good. Weirdly, the movie has 2 midpoints. I don't know why. There are 2 points, and of course, like when it comes to script writing, your midpoints is typically your all is lost moment. It's the halfway point to the movie before you thrust into the third act.
Yeah.
The movie really has 2 of those, and they both involve car crashes.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what? Like, I feel like we're kind of repetitive.
I didn't like that. I didn't like repeating that.
Oddly paced too. Like, it's not bad. I love some of the editing. Some of the editing is riveting in this movie. But even then, some of the pacing can be and feel very weird as far as how that tempo is going with the movie. I don't think the movie needed to be 2.5 hours long. I don't think it needed to be. Sure. I would also say that some of the characters, while I enjoyed some of the side characters felt like a little bit undercooked. Not to the point where it bothered me, but I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more for them. But to be fair, I could say that same thing about the side characters for Top Gun Maverick, because is Hangman, like, from Top Gun Maverick, is he like a 3, or Bob? Are they like 3-dimensional characters? No, they're not.
No.
They're secondary supporting characters. Technically, Hangman is a primary character, but that's to a certain extent. I did love the dichotomy between our 2 racers, between Pierce and Hayes. Brad Pitt breathes charisma as Sonny Hayes, and Damon Idris just keeps up with Brad Pitt as if it's like this Rocky Apollo Creed beach race where it's just like an unstoppable force against an immovable object. One of the kid, like, you got the younger kid who, yes, is arrogant. Yes, he's a jerk. It's funny that he keeps calling Hayes an a-hole. I'm like, dog, look yourself in the mirror. Like, but Sonny Hayes, I really love the Sonny Hayes character. And I get that some people would say that his character is simplistically written. He, like, what is your motivation? Like, why do you keep doing this stuff? Yeah. Because he wants to fly. He looked for those moments in life where he can just fly, because that's what gives him purpose. I like the fact that he's a loner, a drifter. I like the fact that he has nothing to lose. And yes, to a certain extent, that makes his character very problematic. I also love the fact that, and I say this with all due respect, because people keep comparing this movie to Top Gun Maverick. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to compare this movie to Top Gun Maverick, here's one thing that I do appreciate about this movie more than Top Gun Maverick, which is literally an all-timer masterpiece.
Yep.
This movie, I think, creates a more difficult character to root for in a good way. Sonny Hayes, and I say this with all due respect to Maverick, Sonny Hayes is not the best.
Sure.
He is a man past his prime.
Yep.
Like Javier Bardem's character, who they have such great chemistry with.
Oh, really good chemistry.
They are 2 middle-aged men trying to hold on to something that is gone. They are men past their prime with gas, very little left in the tank, pun intended. And Sonny Hayes, he is complicated. There are times where he can just act like a straight up just jerk and kind of have his my way or the highway. But there's a mysteriousness to his character that I think gives him a great sense of aura, as well as just him not doing everything greatly and becoming a problem for his team. When you look at Maverick, and I'm not saying that Maverick is a Mary Sue, Maverick definitely had internal and external conflicts and motivations that made him a very good character.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
There was never a point in time where I questioned, could Maverick, like, are these kids actually like, no, Maverick's the best pilot.
Yep.
He is the best. There was never a point in time where I questioned that. There was never a point in time where I questioned if Maverick could carry out the mission. I knew Maverick can carry out the mission. I knew he was the guy for the job. I looked at Sonny Hayes and I'm just like, oh Lord, I don't know, man. Like, you're great. You're great, but it's like seeing that. And I'm using martial arts term because I love to do martial arts. It's like seeing that one middle-aged man at like a boxing or like martial arts gym, and you're just like, dog, you're good. You're really good, but at the same time, I feel like one wrong move and you're back in the hospital.
Oh, 100%.
That's how I felt about Sonny Hayes. And I love that tension. I love those stakes and the fact that he was a flawed, deeply flawed character that you still wanted to root for because he has something about him that is so fascinating. Like, he doesn't live by the media. He doesn't live by the attention. He doesn't live for the fame and fortune. He lives for those small moments. He's basically a better Dominic Toretto than Dominic Toretto, where he lives his life for about a quarter mile. And I say that with all due respect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Sonny Hayes character too. Just because he was, like most characters, people like this actually exist. People trying to find their way and trying to figure out why they do what they do. Like, what is the point in all of this? Do you accept a friend's deal or not? For people that have seen the movie, I think it was an interesting, written characterization that I enjoyed. That even though Sonny was, you said he was a person that was hard to root for at times, but he was like, it was a good character that you kind of like, we know that you have your issues, there's deep layers behind there. But I enjoyed Brad Pitt's portrayal of Sonny Hayes, and I thought it was good. Him and Jameson, great chemistry. The old head, the OG, and then the young buck, and that whole dynamic, button heads and stuff.
And you felt for his character too.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like, he wasn't just like a one-dimensional jerk. Like, no, he had an understandable motivation, and you couldn't, like, the scene with his mother, who's well played by Sarah Niles. I love Sarah Niles. Like,
so good.
That is a really good understanding of him kind of like letting his guard down. And we're seeing like a version of him that has to live up to something.
Yep.
Because he's worked hard for it. Because any person who's done sports, a lot is on the line.
Yep.
And it's nothing necessarily that we haven't seen done before, but to see it come from like a late millennial perspective of someone who is so entranced by social media, so entranced by like his PR stunts and how he looks and his image, he doesn't live in the moment. And Sonny Hayes, like, it's that questioning of, will Sonny Hayes be able to convince him to live in the moment, or will he continue to be this arrogant jerk?
Right. Because the whole point of Javier's character is like, hey, I got this young rookie who's good, but he's also a rookie. And we see those moments. Yeah, we see these moments of him really being the rookie, and then again that tension of Brad Pitt's this older generation racer who does not care about, image and all that other stuff, while, Jameson's character, Joshua Pierce, he's over here, he's caring about image. He cares about image way more than he cares about being in the lab and being on the track working out. And you see that tension, which is really cool too. It's not just about winning the races, and it's just not about all that stuff. It's the layers of the stories and how Sonny's story connects with Joshua's character and Joshua's story. It's like, I think it's well woven for this film. I think it was pretty good.
It's also a great sense of teamwork that I really like too.
Yes.
Like, you get more of the behind the scenes of their crew and how each and every different person has a key role and just one thing that is out of step, 1 second, one drill, one miscalculation can cost them the race.
Yep.
And I liked a lot of the science and a lot of the research that was done for this story. It just even going into some of the things that feels like such thankless roles. Like there is a main character that Sunny kind of, well, not a main character, but she's more of a secondary character, blonde head girl who makes a
Yes.
very bad mistake. And Sunny, his whole journey with her is like trying to make her understand, like, you're going to have a career full of mistakes. You can't let that beat you up.
Yep.
And she develops into being this such a thankless role in F1 racing that um even the Pierce character is just like so dismissive of. Like everybody feels like they're of value and worth. So by the time you get to the final race, good God,
It's everybody.
that final race, the sound work, the Hans Zimmer score, which is one of my favorite scores that he's done in recent years. It all just works to a point where there's a certain scene that involves, I can't spoil it, but it involves the word flying. Oh my God.
It's so good, dude.
That's cinema, bro.
It's
That's
so
cinema.
good. It's so good. What about Carrie Condon?
I liked her. I think she was good. I think she had a very understandable motivation. However, I feel like her character was a bit undercooked. Something about it felt like it's like trying to make that perfect like bread,
Sure.
but there's something just a little doughy. Just a little, it's like a Pillsbury biscuit, like just a little something a little doughy about it. And she kind of did feel like she was just resulted to the love interest, which, I mean, I'm not going to say that they didn't have chemistry.
Yeah.
And I appreciated how there was a realness of how, like, I'm getting into a relationship with you, but I'm going to make you work for it. Like, I'm going to play hard to get. She basically plays hard to get for the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
Until we get to the second hour. That's when we see the relationship form. That's when we see her and let her in. And even then, the way how they end off, like they don't end off in like the most like romantic way. It ends in a way that's like we love and we do respect each other.
Yeah.
But there is some complications that we have that we do need to work out on our own.
Yep.
Especially on Sunny's case. Definitely Sunny's case. So I didn't hate her character. There are other female written characters this year that I'm much more critical of, but
Sure.
there's something about her character. She starts off strong, but just kind of results into like the love interest that I feel like her motivation kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit. But it wasn't bad. I like Carrie Condon. I think when I first was introduced to her in the Banshees and Sharon, great performance.
So
really
good.
love her as an actress. I am looking forward to whatever she's doing next. Really love her. Love that accent too.
Yeah, that accent. So
that
good.
accent is iconic.
The way she pronounces things, it's great.
It's great. It's iconic. It really is. It's like listening to who's actor who has like such an iconic accent. It's like listening to someone like a Sean Connery, where it's just like you know it when you hear it. Like I don't even need to see their face. Just give me a voice of them talking, and I know it's you.
Yep, I hear that. I enjoyed her character. I thought she was cool. I did like the side of that she's just smart, advanced person, advanced woman that is working in F1 and stuff like that. I like the moments that they did give some of these female characters some moments to shine, which was really cool. Yeah, and especially in like a male dominated.
Because when you watch it like a 4B Ferrari,
yeah,
4B Ferrari, there's this like you do get the Katrina Balfe character, which is like this very inspiring. Like I'm the wife who's going to champion you and tell you that you can achieve your dreams. But like
Yeah.
that took place in a different time period. The
Mm.
diversity, the inclusion just wasn't where it was. Versus
Yep.
here it is, and there's been a lot of comparisons of this to like Ford v Ferrari, Top Gun Maverick, or even other sports films like Rush, which is another racing film. I think this, or even Days of Thunder. I do think that this
Oh yeah.
is
Days.
one of the, along with Creed, I do think that this is one of the better
Mm.
sports films we've gotten
Sports movies.
recently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really good. There's also another weird comparison. The Tobias Mendes character, who you may know, who's the turns out to be someone who he's not. He
Yeah.
is compared. I got. Oh God, I'm, I'm about to lose myself here. He's compared to the Josh Lucas character in Ford v Ferrari, where it's just like he's like the guy who's like the sleazy. I'm not really here for the right reasons. Antagonistic like character, and
Yeah.
people are like, he's just like a worse version of Josh Lucas. I don't know. It's like, dog. That's like saying that left Twix
I'm
is better
dead.
than right Twix. Like, I mean, if you want, but like, that is something about sports films that I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily like over. I'm not saying it can't be done well, but like, just like the
Yeah.
rich or like high ranking position guy who is trying to
Yeah.
manipulate things behind the scenes. Uh, I don't know. Something about that trope about it, I'm just kind of over it, like a little bit. Like it
Yeah, I
just
hear you.
they're just one-dimensional characters, and you see it in other sports films too, or competitive movies, where it's just like, oh, like you're that guy. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess this is what we're doing here. Sure.
Yeah. It's definitely like the least memorable part of the whole movie. Like his part is like obviously it held somewhat some value because of the plot, but other than that,
Yeah.
it's like this is not memorable, and this is kind of we've seen this before. Doesn't reinvent the
However,
wheel or anything.
I will say, his character involves a certain gesture where I'm like, that is the greatest use of a middle finger I've ever seen this year. You see a lot of middle fingers in films. Like, I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen a middle finger used that well in a motion picture. Like, okay, that was actually pretty clever.
I know exactly what you're talking about. What are your thoughts on they're planning development on a sequel? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't need one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it.
Yep.
But again, it's coming. It's coming. I don't need it. If you want to, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't expand on it, but like, it's one of those type of situations where, like, do you really want to try to like strike lightning twice in the same place? Like,
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick was like the very definition of lightning in a bottle. Like it was just perfect. Well, not perfect, but it was the right place at the right time and it had the right amount of people working in it. Like it's like the stars aligning. F1 definitely a few steps down compared to Maverick, but still, it worked.
Yep.
Something about an F1 sequel that is making me think, don't push your luck.
Mm-hmm. I hear
It's
that.
not like Creed. It's not like Creed. Like, no. Like, there's something about this where I'm just like, don't push your luck. Now, if they want to go more in a route where Sonny and Pierce are more friends, but they got some wicked competition and their friendship is being tested, okay, but like, I don't I don't need it. I'd rather watch Idris just go on to do other things and develop his craft as a leading man for the big screen. Because a lot of people are wanting him to play James Bond. I don't know if he's going to get it, but even if he doesn't, I think he has a lot of potential as an actor. He's been really big on his television work, and I just want to see him develop his craft a little bit more
Yeah,
as a leading, star.
there's rumors of him maybe being Black Panther. He was asked about it, and I
There's
forgot
been
what he
conversations
said.
about that.
I forgot what he said. He was asked about it on TV, and he said like a one-liner.
Apparently, a bunch of people are being just like secretive. Like even Hans Zimmer, when he was asked about what he's doing in the future, he's just like, he's just a little incognito about it, Because Hans
Interesting.
Zimmer, like this is a guy who's a part of some of the biggest projects and most anticipated projects of their respective years. So,
Yep.
and of course, like Doom Messiah coming out soon and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that overall, F1 is one of the better films I've seen in a rather disappointing summer so far.
That's good, bro. Because I enjoyed it, and it makes you feel good to know that I'm probably not missing nothing right now in terms of movies, and that saving money is the right move, which is nice to hear. So
Before we head out, would you mind if I do a little bit of a speed round?
Go ahead.
All right, speed
What you
round.
got?
Materialist. Great movie. Second best film of the year.
Oh.
Celine Song. The hate that she's getting is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not really that big of a fan of Dakota Johnson, but
Me neither.
she is an actress in this movie. She still has work to be done. Like there are still moments where like I do feel a bit like stilted with her performance, but this is my favorite role I've seen her do in her career.
Oh, good.
And I think she just breathes chemistry with Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans. Chris Evans, this is my favorite performance from his career.
Ooh, okay.
Not as great as Past Lives, but who gives a crap? Like, it's a good movie.
Sure.
It's a great movie, I would even say. I would really think it would be cool if this movie contended for original screenplay at the Oscars. I'm not sure if it's going to do that.
Okay.
Ballerina. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I've seen a flamethrower used that incredibly. Like, you thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's flamethrower was great. Nah, man. Like, a shootout sequence involving flamethrowers, Ana de Armas. You know what? I don't want a John Wick 5, but if we're going to do it, can you please bring back this character, Eve? I like her. I'm invested. I enjoyed Ballerina. Such an entertaining film. I wouldn't be like other people say it's the weakest John Wick film. I think the weakest John Wick film is still Parabellum, but I mean, even Parabellum, I gave a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed Parabellum. And the Ballerina, I think, is just such a special film. Seeing Lance Riddick one last time, because obviously, like, this movie has been in production for a very long time. Like, No Time to Die was basically her audition for audiences before this role. And Lance Riddick, of course, seeing him one last time was very sweet. John Wick is not just a glorified cameo. Like, no, homie's an actual supporting character in this movie.
Okay.
Which I thought was really cool. The action set pieces, my God. Like, just this entire world of John Wick, I adore. I'm down to see, like, if we're going to continue this franchise, I'm down to see more spin-offs. I'm down to see more of just the expansion of the Continental and how, like, the world of John Wick operates. Dude, there is... The flamethrower sequence is not even my favorite set piece of the film. There's a certain set piece that involves glass plates. And I need you to watch this scene so you can watch it for yourself. It is wild and ridiculous. Ana de Armas, like, genuinely one of my favorite actors right now in the industry that is just really handling the, like, just action scene very, very well. Megan 2.0. I really loved that first Megan. I think that first film was a movie that had no business being that great.
Yep.
Megan 2.0, you can wait until Peacock because this movie was mid.
It's going to flop too. gonna
And
flop.
you know what? Nobody asked for a Megan sequel, which is understandable. But the trailers were so good. It's one of the rare films where you watch and you're like, the trailer is better than the actual movie.
Jeez.
I do think the performances from um, Jenna Davis and even going into, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Ivana Shakono. I think they are definitely giving fun performances. And, Megan, she's Megan. Like, she's going to have those fun moments. But I was missing the horror elements of the first film. And there was
Hmm.
just something about it. Like, even when it came to action movie, even the action is not that well filmed or
Yeah.
cut. And, dude, it's robots.
Yeah.
Like, how do you mess up robots fighting each other? And
Should be cool.
it should be cool. And it's Megan. Like, Megan's such a great character. And it has nothing to do with the idea that, oh, Megan's an anti-hero. I just think the execution just wasn't good. The story wasn't good. However, there is you still should watch the movie because there is one scene that involves a musical number from Megan. And it is hysterical. Like, if you thought Titanium was funny from the first film,
Yeah.
oh my god, it is so funny. And yeah, and there's a lot going for this movie too, conceptually, when it comes to pro or anti AI that I appreciate it, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't work in execution. It just doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw last one that I saw recently on Amazon Prime. I saw Heads of State, not Head of State with Chris Rock. Heads, plural, of State.
Who in that?
John Cena, Idris Elba, and
Oh yeah.
I keep messing up her name. Jesus, Indian actress, really, really good actress.
Priyanka.
Jonas. Jonas. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna call her
Priyanka.
Jonas because she's Nick Jonas's wife. But
Yeah.
obviously, she's not just Nick Jonas's wife. She's a very well-known, famous Indian star, starred in some really good American films or like just American projects. And it's sad that a straight-to-streaming movie was more entertaining as an action adventure than some of these like theater releases because this movie was fun.
Okay.
If I'm quoting Alonzo Harris from Training Day, it's 90% BS, but it's entertaining. That's how this
Okay.
movie is. This movie is, if you understand just the basics of Secret Service security,
Yeah.
of politics, or even the way how protocols go when crises go down, because the whole concept of the film is the Prime Minister of the UK, Idris Elba, and the President of the United States, John Cena, they basically crash land from Air Force One. Everybody on the plane dies except for them. And the Jonas character, she basically has to get them back to a safe haven so they can carry out this geopolitical, like, peace treaty.
Interesting.
And like, I don't understand how this movie, like, this is, I rather would watch this movie in theaters than some of the spectacle films I've seen in theaters recently. Like, it's
Wow.
funny, it's stupid, but it's fun stupid. Like, it knows what it is. It's not trying to take itself seriously.
Yep.
It's not trying to take itself too serious. Like, because there are even times when you're watching Megan, I feel like, okay, I feel like you're taking this a bit too seriously.
Seriously, yeah.
Idris Elba and John Cena, I mean, these guys work together on Suicide Squad. They have very fun chemistry. And it's a silly movie, but it's fun, silly. And Jack Quaid, what a year this guy is having. He does not have much screen time, but there is a certain set piece that he's given.
All right.
He only has 5 minutes, but there's a certain action set piece that he's given that is genuinely one of the funniest things I've seen this year.
All right. I'm gonna put that down on
And
the list. I remember seeing something about it, but like I forgot all about it.
good 4th of July movie to watch. I'll tell you that.
It just came
I mean,
out, didn't it?
yeah, American
Mhm.
President, National Crisis. Yeah, it's a interesting 4th of July movie to watch.
Nice.
I feel like I will rewatch it again. Like that's the type of movie where like it's a Sunday afternoon, you're cleaning up. That's something that
And
you
you just
pop
need
on in the
something.
background.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's something
Yep.
that you put on the background. You glance at it a few times, you have some laughs. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah, man.
all right. I think that's it for today. Isaiah, bro, thank you for coming on, giving me your thoughts and opinions. You've seen so much so far this year that it helps me give a good idea. As we're like we're about halfway through the year now, and it's like I'm trying to see. Okay, now I'm gonna start trying to kick it in gear and start trying to watch a lot of stuff and just figure out what I want to watch. When do I want to watch it? Because my goal for the year is to watch way more films than I did last year.
Yeah, me too.
And so it's helpful to get insights when people have seen stuff that I haven't seen, and you're giving other people insights. So I appreciate it, bro. I really do appreciate it.
Before we close it out, I just want to give a bit of encouragement
Yeah,
to
go for it.
you and your audience. If you're someone who thinks that this year has been a dud or mid,
Yeah.
and that Sinners is like the only thing literally keeping this year alive, may I remind you that the same thing happened for 2019. 2019, all you had was Endgame and Booksmart. And
Yeah.
Booksmart, luckily, if you saw that movie in theaters, because it's a smaller independent film,
Sure.
like most of the time, the great movies that you remember years to come or become like some of your favorite films of the year, they don't really tend to come until towards the end of the year.
It's true.
Or into like the second half.
It's
We
true.
saw that with 2019. 2019 was dropping bangers like
Yeah.
Knives Out, Irishman, Little Women. You go to something like Rise of Skywalker was a disappointment, but for other films like 1917,
Yep.
and it was a little divisive, but I mean, it was a Best Picture nominee, Joker.
Yeah.
So a lot of the best movies really do come out in the second half of the year. So
You're not long.
there's
And the
some
second half
good,
is loaded too, bro. It is
it's loaded, bro.
loaded.
Like I say, Catherine Bigelow, she's out of director's jail, thank God. You got yourself a James Cameron movie. So if you've been disappointed with IMAX other than Sinners this year, you got
Yep.
that. You got a Knives Out
Mhm.
mystery. You got Del
Mhm.
Toro coming back with Frankenstein. Like,
Mhm.
there's some
Zootopia.
good God, don't get me freaking
Wicked.
Zootopia 2, Wicked Part 2. Don't get me freaking started on that Paul Thomas
Bro.
Anderson movie with DiCaprio.
Oh,
Regina
I
King.
forgot about that.
Yeah, man. With
I
Tiana
saw
Taylor.
that. I saw that trailer. They showed it
Good
before
trailer.
F1, and that one was full. It was a full frame trailer in IMAX, and
Yeah.
I was like, "This looks good in IMAX."
It looks dope. And don't get me freaking started on the fact that we got the queen herself, Regina King, coming back to films with
Oh, yeah.
Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing, which I'm not that excited for, but it looks like
Sure.
fun. And
Yeah.
Regina King, obviously, if you know some of the things that she's been going through and the tragedy
Yeah.
that struck, like for her to
I forgot about that.
come back, like I was afraid
Yep.
that she was just going to just retire and not return to filmmaking again. I am glad that she is moving forward
Yeah.
in the way how she knows how, and she's still doing what she loves. She's still acting. I'm excited. Let's do this. Let's lock in 2025. You're not over yet.
Bro, say that again. I'm telling you, bro. This is
It's
like
not
this is
over.
like this feels like this is a warm up, even for people that go, you don't want to see Jurassic World, or you don't want to go see Fantastic Four, or you don't want to even go see Superman. So this feels like this is a warm up, and then we're gonna get into some more stuff at the end of the year, which is, bro, I think the end of the year has the potential to be bigger than this summer.
I agree. I mean, shoot. Oh, you also got last one I'm going to say. please, for the love of Christ, be good. You got Tron Ares, which got Nine Inch Nails. You got Greta Lee. You got Nine Inch Nails, who, of
Also,
course, if anybody doesn't know, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
yes, let me
Cinephile
say
fans.
this too about Tron, and I'm gonna be saying this a lot on this podcast and even throughout like on the social channels. I think we need Tron Ares to be good.
Yes.
And we need not even just be good. We need people to show up for it, because if people don't show up for it, I'm not sure they're gonna do another Tron. And there's talks. I saw somebody went to some convention with what's his name? He played Sam Flynn.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He played his son, not Jeff Bridges.
No, homie. He was also in Four Brothers. God, why am I blanking on his name? Hold
I
up, give
can't
me a
think of
second.
his name. Yeah, the lead actor.
1 second. Garrett
Yes.
Hedlund.
Yes.
Garrett Hedlund.
He said, somebody went to a convention and they said, will you be in this Tron? And he said, no, I'm not in Tron Ares. But he said there is a script of him and Korra from Legacy that exists. And he also says that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta find it. I'm pretty sure he said they need Tron Ares to be good for his character to even show up. Yes.
Because there's another script that it's probably going to be something that's like a first draft or something like, or an early draft of like, hey, we got this. We wrote these films back to back. If this movie works, we're greenlighting this. Like,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, I found some Reddit post. Somebody said Garrett Hedlund says a Tron Legacy sequel can still happen based on the performance of Ares. So we need Ares to be solid, and we need people to kind of show up. And I'm hoping, and it's all going to rest on Disney, how Disney pushes this movie, because I feel like Tron is still obscure and people don't love it and know about it, and they gotta hope that the star power of Jared Leto comes into play and really pushes for this film to be good, man.
I don't think you can rely on the star power of Jared Leto or Greta Lee. Greta Lee is definitely on the rise, but she's not there yet. Jared Leto, very controversial figure in the industry. You really just got to rely on just the familiarity and world of Tron.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a Reddit post, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking, it is true.
Yeah.
I want this Tron movie to succeed. It looks sick. It looks wicked. I need to see this movie in Dolby because the sound work is going to be amazing. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Tron Ares.
Yep. That's in October. Keep it posted.
October.
Keep it posted. I'm still curious on. I think I've seen a little bit of stuff that they kind of been teasing about what the story is about, but I'm intrigued. I'm not really pumped because I wanted a Legacy sequel, and this is not that. But if this movie is successful, my hope is, especially if you look at somebody, which is surprising on the Disney side, Joseph Kosinski, how he's killing it right now. If I'm Disney, again, I'm scratching my head on Disney not calling up Joseph and going, we need you back ASAP. So hopefully, I know Joseph has a few projects in the burner being worked on and being developed, but maybe if there's a space, maybe on the producing side, maybe something for a Legacy sequel if Ares does well. We'll see. There's a lot there that we'll get to that in October. We'll get to that. We're gonna have to do a Legacy rewatch. We're gonna have to.
Ooh,
we're gonna have to. Legacy rewatch, that Daft Punk soundtrack. We're gonna get on that.
Lord.
We're gonna get on
whether that movie is good or bad, I am confident that Daft Punk soundtrack is going to be amazing.
Bro, I got that. Do I got that on? I don't think I have that on vinyl. I thought I did, but it's so good that I'd buy it on vinyl. I'd buy it on the vinyl because it's so good. So good. All right, Isaiah. This is going to be it. Audience, thank you for tuning in to the Real Table Podcast. As always, we're back. It's a big week. I'm seeing Superman on Tuesday, which means if you're listening to this episode, it's Tuesday. So I'm seeing Superman on Tuesday. and I'm gonna have my reactions on my socials on TikTok and on Instagram. So you better head on over to those socials and get my reaction of Superman on Tuesday night, and then Tuesday, and then sometime this week we'll get to a Superman episode as we keep things going. Isaiah, once again, thank you for being on the Real Table, bro. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Everybody else, I will see y'all real soon. Y'all be safe out there as always. Peace. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.